Welcome to the daily English news program on Azərbaycan Television with the most important events of the day. I'm your host, İlham. The World Health Organization's decision-making body, World Health Assembly, met for its 74th session on the theme Ending this Pandemic, Preventing the Next, Building Together a Healthier, Safer and Fairer World on 24th to 31st of May in a video format. At the invitation of the WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, a statement by President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, İlham in a video format was presented at the closing ceremony of the session. Heads of state and government of Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Afghanistan, Argentina, Malaysia, Australia and Bhutan made speeches at the session as special guests.
Distinguished delegates, before we proceed further, I have the honor to welcome our high-level guest who will now address the Assembly. I have the pleasure to invite His Excellency İlham Oğlu Ayav, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, to give his remarks.
Distinguished Director General, distinguished delegates, I would like to start by expressing my gratitude for the invitation to address the 74th session of the World Health Assembly, which takes place in a very challenging time for the global health agenda due to the current COVID-19 pandemic. Azerbaijan supports the leading role and efforts of the World Health Organization in the global health governance, including in coordinating the global response to the pandemic. From the very first days of the pandemic, Azerbaijan has taken practical measures to minimize negative impact of COVID-19 on the population and to keep the situation under control. Within a short period of time, 13 modular hospitals and 1 regular hospital were built. Total number of beds designated to treat COVID patients throughout the country is more than 10,000. At the same time, the socio-economic stimulus package worth almost $2 billion have been released in order to support COVID-affected people and business. As a result of comprehensive measures, our country has gradually eased the quarantine regime. We have launched immunization campaign since mid-January this year using 99.94% of Sinovac vaccine and the rest AstraZeneca and Sputnik vaccines. 2 million vaccine doses have already been administered. This number constitutes 20% of our total population. All the citizens above 18 years old can get vaccinated voluntarily. COVID-19 passports are issued for those vaccinated. We welcome the designation of 2021 as a year of health and care workers. Azerbaijan has very fruitful cooperation with the World Health Organization. Last year, the World Health Organization hailed Azerbaijan as an exemplary country in fighting the pandemic. Azerbaijan has always propagated the importance of demonstrating a committed global solidarity to overcome the pandemic. In this capacity, as the chair of the non-aligned movement, Azerbaijan has initiated a number of global initiatives, in particular, the holding of the summit of the non-aligned movement in May 2020, and convening a special session of the United Nations General Assembly at the level of the heads of state and government in December 2020, which was supported by more than 150 states. Azerbaijan has made voluntary financial contribution to the World Health Organization in the amount of $10 million and provided humanitarian and financial assistance to more than 30 countries with regard to coronavirus. Azerbaijan publicly condemned actions of some countries which purchase several times more vaccines than their actual needs and deprive developing countries from protecting their populations. The persisting vaccine nationalism and deepening inequality in access to vaccines between developing and developed countries are disturbing. According to international reports so far, more than 82% of the world vaccine doses have been purchased by wealthy countries, while only 0.3% have gone to low-income countries. To address this challenge, Azerbaijan, on behalf of the non-aligned movement, initiated a resolution on ensuring equitable, universal access for all countries to vaccines in the UN Human Rights Council, which was unanimously adopted this March. We strongly encourage developed countries and international donor organizations to support developing, in particular, least developed countries to this end. Thank you.
On May 31st, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, İlham Aliyev, sent an executive order on the additional measures to improve irrigation water supply to cultivation areas and meeting the demand of population for potable water. According to the executive order, 1,400,000 monads are allocated to Azerbaijan Amelioration and Water Farm Open Joint Stock Company for its design and excavation of 20 subartesian wells in order to improve the irrigation water supply for cultivation areas and courts used for cultivation, as well as to meet the demand of population for potable water in 18 residential settlements with 25,950 inhabitants in Agdam and Terter regions. President İlham Aliyev continues to receive messages of congratulations on the occasion of the 28th of May, the Republic Day. President of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, Nguyen Xuan Phuc, the President of Montenegro, Milo Đukanović, President of the Republic of Tunisia, Kais Saied, President of the Republic of Nicaragua, Daniel Ortega, as well as Vice President of the Republic of Nicaragua, Rosario Murillo, addressed letters of congratulations to President İlham Aliyev and extended their best wishes of prosperity and welfare to the President and the people of Azerbaijan. A Griffon 12 unmanned aerial vehicle belonging to the Armenian Armed Forces was detected by units in the direction of the Kelbecer district of the Armenian-Azerbaijani state border and was force landed by special equipment. The statement came from the Defense Ministry. Yet another reality emerging in the region after the Second Karabakh War is linked with the opening of communications. New corridors will provide efficiency and cost-effectiveness of cargo transportation in the region. On May 30th, during the meeting with a delegation led by Minister of Transport and Infrastructure of the Republic of Turkey, Adil Kara İsmailoglu, the issue was once again in the center of the attention.
In recent years, one of the relevant directions in multi-dimensional cooperation between Azerbaijan and Turkey is cooperation in the transport sphere. With the launch of Baku Tbilisi railway line, this partnership embarked on a new phase, which encourages its transformation into a corridor of international importance. We have a very strong track record of cooperation. Of course, the joint construction of the Baku Tbilisi railway is of particular importance. As you know, this is an important part of the East-West corridor. In recent years, the volume of cargo transported through this corridor has increased. In the first quarter of 2020, the volume of cargo transportation on the Baku Tbilisi railway line amounted to approximately 78,000 tons, and during the same period of this year, this figure reached 154,836 tons. Considering that the pandemic has contributed to a decrease in economic turnover and thereby in freight traffic, it can no doubt be predicted that this growth will be even greater during the period of full recovery of economic activity. Against the background of new realities that arose in the region after the Second Karabakh War, the prospects of further diversification of the region's transport network has emerged. In particular, the Zangezur corridor is characterized as a new transport artery of Eurasia. This will provide a new connection between Turkey and Azerbaijan. As you know, in the early stages after the war, Armenia objected to this issue. However, I have recently been informed that the Armenian side is already properly analyzing the issues related to the inevitability of this corridor. As you know, discussions are now taking place in a trilateral format. This issue is being discussed within the working group at the level of Deputy Prime Ministers of Azerbaijan, Russia and Armenia, and there are good results. Azerbaijan has already started construction of a railway from Horadiz to the border with Armenia. It is envisaged to finish this project in the span of 2.5 years. With the construction of other sections of the line, the corridor will be completely ready and will provide for profitability, flexibility of communications in the region. But the corridor can be attractive not only for the countries of the region, but also for European and Asian states. With the recently closed Suez Canal and later the Bosphorus, the issues of diversification of international transport corridors once again became topical, and in this context, the middle corridor passing through Azerbaijan was viewed as an alternative route. If we take into account the prospects of connecting this corridor with the Zangezur corridor, the value of the ring will increase even more.
The co-chairs, in their turn, can contribute to peace and development in the region by supporting the implementation of trilateral statements, said the head of the press service of Azerbaijani Foreign Affairs Ministry, Leyla Abdullayeva. Quote, "Our position on issues mentioned in the statement of the co-chairs, as well as on the latest escalations that occurred on the Azerbaijani-Armenian border, the attempt of a saboteur group to commit an act of terrorism and sabotage entering the territories of Azerbaijan, the process of delimitation and demarcation, as well as the provision of humanitarian access to the region, have been repeatedly stated in official statements. We remind regarding 6 Armenian servicemen cited in the statement of the co-chairs that the Armenian servicemen were detained while committing a provocation aimed at the mining of roads. Armenia's refusal to submit information on the placement of mines, in addition, an attempt of planting new mines in the area, do not fit into any frame, while mines planted by Armenia cause danger for the lives of people in the liberated Azerbaijan territories on a daily basis. Thus, co-chairs should at least pay attention to the reason for the detention of these persons, call on provocateurs to avoid such actions before suggesting the exchange of the detained persons on the basis of the all-for-all principle." End of quote. The 13th Azerbaijan-Turkey high-level military dialogue meeting will be held in Baku on June 3rd. The meeting will discuss the current state of bilateral cooperation between Azerbaijan and Turkey in security, military technical, military medicine, military education, military industry, and other fields. The parties will also consider prospects for development in the military and defense spheres and the main areas of activity. The situation that has occurred in recent days as a result of provocations by the Armenian armed forces in Kelbecer and Lachin districts of the Armenian-Azerbaijani state border was analyzed at a consultative meeting. The instructions and tasks set by the President of Azerbaijan, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Ilham Aliyev, in regard to the operational situation were conveyed to the participants of the meeting. Emphasizing issues related to the organization of service and combat activities, Defense Minister Zakir Hasanov instructed the command of the military units stationed in the liberated territories to take decisive steps and urgent actions to suppress enemy provocations. That was all for today. Thank you for being with us and see you next time.